turfs is what we're going to look at now. Now, before we get anywhere, we need to create a new environment, and again I'm going to save it in my own file folder that I've created, and I'm going to call it turfs. Then it comes to the DM file, that's fine, called what it is. So now we're going to look at turfs, as I've already said. Now, to declare any turf, it's like declaring a mob in the sense that you go turf, like that, and it's done, and then you tab across new line and you carry on with the code. But before we can actually make any turfs, we need some icons. Okay, now there's two ways to create a new icon. Well, actually it's the same way, there's just depending on what shortcut you use. You can either click on file then new, or control then new. Either way you get to this menu. Select the drop down menu and click on icon file, which is it's a .dmi extension, and I'm going to call this icon file turfs as well. And now we come up with the icon file maker. Now as you can see, we have a paintbrush here and we have a video camera here. Now we're not going to explain much about the video camera just yet, we're going to concentrate on the paintbrush. And then I'm going to create some very basic tests. I'm going to click on the flood tool, select a shade of green and flood. That will pretty much do for there. Then under the turf, there's two ways to access this menu. You can either click just under the turf, double click, and it brings up this, edit state. Or if that doesn't work, you can right click and then you can left click on edit state. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to edit state name. We're going to call it grass. And just remember I've called it a capital G. And then we're going to click on another one, and we're going to flood it blue. Call it water, and then one more. You could have a whiter shade. Flood it. Call it path, or whatever you want. Now we're going to create the turfs. First off, turf, we're going to give a turf a name. I'm going to call my first turf grass. Okay, new line, and we tab across again. We then set the icon. Well, before this, I could set the icon here. I could set the icon equal in a state of grass. No, I could set the icon to the icon file, which is turfs.dmi, which is this file here. I could then set the icon state to equal grass. Now what that is doing is it's saying that the icon is this icon here, and the actual icon state is grass. So I'm actually specifying this individual icon here, okay? And then we could go water icon equals turfs.dmi icon state equals water, like that. And if I compile, you'll actually, now if you click on the objects after I've compiled, you'll see that under turf I've got two options, grass and water. Cool, eh? But I don't want to do that. I mean, I can actually set, you see, I've got repeat code. I'm actually saying that the icon is the same here for turfs, and it's the same one. And because you automatically inherit any variables which are in the previous, because it belongs to turf, so any variables in turf it automatically gains on. I can take it out of here and I can place it into there, and then I can actually get rid of that one as well. And now the same thing applies, the same thing works. As you can see, we've got a grass and we've got a water turf. Cool, eh? We can create the last one if we want, but I'm not going to. I'm actually going to go into turfs.dm. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to make it a flood of black, and I'm going to call it edge for the edge of the map. Alright, I want that one. Now I'm going to click on turf. I'm going to create the edge to DEG edge. I'm going to change the icon state to equal edge, and like that. Now icon states have double speech marks before and after. When you specify an icon file or any actual file, it's one speech mark single. Okay, remember that. Now if I click on the object, you'll actually see under turf I've got 3. Now I'm just going to make a few modifications. I'm going to set the density of water to 1, and I'm also going to set the density of the edge to 1, and then I'm going to set the opacity, and I can never remember how to spell this one. There we go. I'll just copy that one out. So we're going to nick that, paste that in, and I'm going to set that to also equal 1. Now I'm going to explain what these does. Density means that you can't actually walk on that object. Well, water, you can't walk on water, can you? So it's a solid object in the sense that you can't walk on it. I want the edge to be the same, so that's the density. And opacity means you can't see through an object. So anything behind the object would be black because you can't see through it. Okay? I'll actually explain this further on when we actually get onto creating maps, but I'm leading up to that gradually. So that is it for basic turfs. In the next one we're going to look at a few more commands you can actually do with turf.